Hey guys, and welcome back to Amnesia The Dark Descent. I believe now I'm supposed to be going into the wine cellar, which got a... what did I get? I got a chemistry pot, used to contain mixtures of all sorts, where I'm supposed to go get some chemicals. He fell to the kitchen floor, tears were beginning to well in his eyes as he received the first kick in his stomach. Hazel remained hidden, in fear she too would be punished. It's locked and will not open without a key. Awesome. So now I'm really not too sure where to go. I don't believe I went down here yet into the refinery. Well, never mind. Completely forgot that's already blocked off. I don't even remember where I'm going at this point. The only other place would be up here. Into the archives. The other children cheered him on. His name was voiced in steadily rising pace, urging him to do it. Am I really doing this? The young boy thought, and struck his victim with a rock. Yep. Yeah, I remember this place being fun. I know you guys might enjoy this part. I know I won't.
May 1839. The unflinching African sun has continued to plague our expedition, making it impossible to dig until dusk. How Professor Herbert managed to find the location in these vast plains of nothingness remains a mystery to me. When I asked him about the tomb again, he told me about the legend of Tin Hanan, the mother of us all. An interesting story in its own right, but I can't help feeling there's more. Later that evening, we uncovered a passage beneath the dunes leading to a sand-covered stone structure. The professor was confident it was the tomb we sought and ordered the others to clear the way late into the dark, cold night. Tomorrow, I shall lead the men into the ancient structure, hoping to reach the burial chamber. No matter what the professor is keeping from me, the dig should yield something interesting to take back to London and the British Museum.
If I also remember this part correctly, I actually got lost in here, which is actually pretty bad because this place is kind of straightforward. There's always this constant, like, I don't know what even that sound is, but it's annoying. Yep. Already not liking this. I'm just gonna shut this quick. Probably won't do much against a monster trying to break through, but it'll give me time.
May 1839. My hands tremble as I write. I feel a need to document my tribulation, for I fear that my memory will fail me if I linger. Today, I took some men and ventured into the dark, ancient passage we uncovered. Our torches burned faintly in the murky air as we slowly made our way underground. The men were superstitious and fearful. They argued loudly, and I felt their strange language getting to me. I mustered my strength and yelled at them to continue down the slopes and broken steps. The crudely carved passage confused me. It looked much older than the 4th century structure we had expected. The twisting path emerged into a great antechamber. The walls were lined with statues unlike any I'd ever seen. Despite their unearthly quality, I felt a strange familiarity toward them, which haunts me still. At the far end of the chamber, a great slab of stone sealed off whatever lay ahead. I gave the order to raise it, and as I pushed through the narrow space, the heavy stone suddenly dropped, sealing me inside. I was trapped.
Sorry if you guys heard a random noise there. I don't know if you will or not, but I was plugging in my phone. Very professional, I know. Another problem about this place is it's extremely dark. Why did that freak me out? I don't really know. Close that behind me. I feel like even sometimes when I know stuff is gonna happen, it's still gonna freak me out. So that's just the way things are. What am I doing on? Yeah, I better use this one. Should probably also start using some of the tinder boxes. Let's light up this one. You know, it doesn't seem to help much. I need to find a key to that. Yeah, not a big fan of this room. Really not a big fan. Pretty sure that's where I came from earlier. Your creepy noise, better walk towards the right. What's worse is I already know all this stuff happened, but it's still freaking me out. There's a constant buzzing noise. It just won't stop in this place. Come on. And pianos.
Much of the castle is old and hasn't been tended to for centuries. When the shadow arrives, it won't take long until things start falling apart.
We're just buying time anyway. Let's do what we can.
There isn't much to be done about the wars. We should reinforce weak structures. The ground will tremble and there's a risk everything will cave in on us, especially downstairs. Here, and there. Let's get the servants working on it.
Yeah, I always like those little whatever you want to call them, like almost flashbacks. Knew that was gonna happen. Knew it was gonna happen, but it still freaks me out every time. Something about this game just does that to you. I suppose that's what it was made for. But
17th of May, 1839. Our After pounding the unforgiving stone wall for what seemed like an eternity, I realized it was hopeless. I was trapped. I fell to the ground, gasping for air, trying to focus. That's when I saw a faint blue shimmer. My weakened body was heavy to carry, but I managed to push myself toward the enchanting light.
Yeah, and something tells me
It was
that this...
waiting for me. Enclosed in dark nothingness, I felt myself drawn to the mystic light.
This is probably what screwed him over in the first place.
I reached out, closing it in my hands. The faint glow escaped my fingers and began to spark brightly and spirit me away, unlocking alien memories of spiraling towers, endless deserts, and impossible geometry. The next thing I can remember is the grating sound of stone being lifted, the voices of the Arabs pulling me to safety, and grasped firmly in my hands was the broken pieces of a most peculiar relic.
Oh yeah, I'm supposed to go this way through here, but yeah, I have to like throw something at this, like a rock or a helmet.
You have to be swift when you activate the first one. You hear that? If it stops, you'll have to start over.
Isn't all this a bit excessive?
You can never be too careful, Daniel.
Yeah, and if you can't tell, it's a puzzle, but it's a fairly easy one. You just gotta look around for these books, and as soon as you find them, you just gotta pull them. I believe it's these obvious white ones sticking out. Altstadt and Brennenburg Castle, 1801. Another region rich with lore is Altstadt. Deep within East Prussian woods, for centuries there have been stories surrounding the hamlet and its neighbor, Castle Brennenburg. The quiet forest-clad mountains dressed with scattered lakes is picturesque as can be, albeit the area is haunted by the dark. Ask any local and you will hear the proof of the widespread superstition. All travelers should indulge themselves in such conversations, since it will certainly serve as exciting entertainment. All of them have their own twists on the tales, but there are some motives that keep reappearing. The Gatherers. This story reaches all the way back to the time of the 30 Years' War. It is said that soldiers who abandoned their duty got lost in cold, dark woods and were forever damned to roam the grounds. Their bodies, wrought by their tainted souls, have left them disfigured and empty of essence. Many have cited them over the years and described them as horrid revenants. They move silently through the woods, shying away from any beholder. They are called gatherers as they seem to follow some ambition to steal living creatures. It is their prey which can be heard struggling inside damp burlap sacks, dragged behind them, which reveal their presence. What dark scheme do they follow? A visit undone. Heinrich Cornelius Agrippa, the well-known erudite, visited Altstadt in the start of the 16th century. He resided in a local inn for a fortnight as he looked for remnants of kingdom past. During his stay, all the prominent members of the society paid notice, and he is mentioned in many records of the time. One day he went to investigate a burrow in the northwestern glades, only to never be seen again. Heinrich is known to have passed away in the Grenoble some 10 years later. He dismissed the notion of ever visiting Altstadt, which makes you wonder what really happened. Who was this mysterious man who visited the sleepy hamlet in the woods, and what happened to him? The Immortal Baron. The Baron of Brennenburg lives a reclusive life with his family at his castle nearby Altstadt, and like most of the noble birth, rumors are inherited alongside with the title. Researching the history reveals little before the castle was consumed by fire in the late 16th century. It was rebuilt by Alexander, a nobleman from the Rhinelands claiming a role as a protector of the Prussian state. Alexander helped the region flourish and remain popular throughout his presumed lifetime. The family has always been secretive when it comes to lineage and heritage, therefore birth and death of Alexander and his offspring has never been fully recorded. This has fed the idea that the Baron is in fact one and the same who came from the west over 300 years ago, lived through the time of occupation, and joined the coveted Order of the Black Eagle, along with the great leaders of this country. So there you go, Alexander's immortal. Supposedly. Might as well get out of here now. If I can find the last book. There it is. Ah, come on. There you go. Regarding closing up the wine cellar, Wilhelm and his fools have endangered my research long enough with their absent-minded handling of the human vessels. The sheriff is keeping watchful eye on the forest and is killing my trusty servants. It's just a matter of time until they follow the trail to Brennenburg. I need to lock Wilhelm and his men up to avoid further investigation from the public. The wine cellar will therefore be sealed off until the matter has been handled. Either the king's men leave or they will starve. Whatever comes first, they can rot for all I care. Maybe I'll feed them some wine. It would, in a sense, solve both of my problems. Sorry. I don't believe there's anything else in here, so... I can't run right here, so... I'm just gonna instantly sit in here. I remember for my first little hour of playthrough, I sat in here for probably 10 minutes because I was so scared. Yeah, I honestly don't even think anything happens here, but it's still scary. It's not every day something busts down a door, makes a really scary noise. I'm back in the archives. Jesus. Something about that noise just... Yeah, I think I might have saw something, honestly. Not too sure. But I already know here, before I ended this episode, I'm going to show you guys a little something that scared the crap out of me the first time I played through. Sadly, I won't be able to do it for my first reactions, but I'll do this just for you guys. Yeah, that gave me quite a scare my first time through, but as you can see, that is the monster of the game, and that's what will be hunting you throughout the game. But I will see you guys in the next episode of Amnesia The Dark Descent. See you next time. In the next episode of Amnesia The Dark Descent.